Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another HBCU conversation here on HBCU Game Day. I'm Tyler Carr. We got a special guest coming in just a second. Don't forget about that 10% off discount code for Cross Colors. Yeah, they have some real bangers at Cross Colors. That's for you. They got something special for you. Go to hbcugameday.com. All right, here he is. He's a Hall of Famer now. One of our favorite guys, head coach, athletic director from Miles College, Reginald Ruffin, going into the University of North Alabama Hall of Fame, man. So Coach Ruffin, man, going in as a player, you've done so much as a coach. You won championships as a coach. At North Alabama, you were a championship player. What is it like when you think back, the mindset, the memories of you out on the field with the pads on?
Oh, man, it was unbelievable, just sitting back thinking and, reminiscing about the number of quarterbacks that I actually put on my wall of fame, I call it. Sanford head coach Chris Hatcher, breaking the NCAA, breaking the UNA record against him when he was at Valdosta State. And so just UNA, just reminiscing for me, just thinking about and remembering the time that's being out there with great football players, teammates, and being out there with great leaders. And Ronald McKinnon, my current linebacker coach, who won the Harley Hill as the best player, the only defensive player to ever win that trophy. And just reminiscing about that, man, and the number of championships, NCAA championships, three-peating and winning in 3 consecutive years, and the NCAA national championship. Man, all that just started to relive, come back, man. I just been really excited and pumped about that.
Did you ever think when you were a player that you would be a coach?
Yes, and the reason why I said that because I was brought up. I know a lot of young men that does not get this, what I'm about to say. When I came up through the ranks as a middle school, elementary school, middle school, and high school, I had so many African-American male teachers who were instrumental in my life and mentors in my life. And when I became a teacher, out of the school system that I was in, it wasn't but 5 male teachers, African-American teachers that were in the school system. And man, and that was amazing that when I was in school, I had so many male figures, and they were all HBCU graduates, man, and that were teaching in the school system. And I came up to the ranks, and I wanted to be just like them because they were great mentors, great leaders. And then it just carried on when I got to the University of North Alabama with Coach Wallace, man, the way he cared for the young men in the program, and Coach Slater, he was offensive coordinator, and, instrumental in me coming there to the university. He actually recruited me there to UNA and along with Craig Hall. And so that was just instrumental in me watching those guys as mentor that I wanted to be just like.
Wow. You're raising your son now. What was it like when you told him? Is he ever impressed with dad? I know I tell my kids I'm doing stuff. They're like, oh, okay, bring home some pizza when you're done. What did your son say?
Well, yeah, he was excited but my son is more, he always tries to outdo me a lot of times. And he always trying to compete and outdo me, which is fine. I tell him that. But he gets that feedback from my former coaches, or he reads up and he say, "Oh, Dad, man, you did this and you did that," but you don't talk about it. And I never talked about it because, God bless my wife. So my wife always told me she didn't want me to raise him and make him try to be Reginald Ruffin or try to be like Dad. Let him make his own way and have his own path. And we never forced athletics on him. At the time when he was born, I was a defensive coordinator at Tuskegee. He was loving the band. He loved Tuskegee band. He sits in the stand and he was just emulating the band. And till one day, I decided to bring him on the field and let him play with the guys. And then all of a sudden he said, "Dad, I want to play football." And he became a football player from that time that we brought him to the field. And
let's come fast forward now a little bit. The coronavirus has affected everybody. The SIAC, the CIAA, the MEAC announced their plans not to play this fall. The SWAC is trying to play this spring. You guys were holding out a little bit of hope that maybe you could. I guess I would say you're open to whatever might happen. Is anything new happened since we last heard that the SIAC wasn't going to play this fall for you guys in particular?
Yeah, we was holding out because of just thought maybe it was too early to kind of make that decision. We felt like, it had a lot to do with enrollment, it has a lot to do with our kids having an opportunity, our seniors, giving them hope. But the NCAA came back and gave some waivers and helped us out on that. So we decided to just follow the lead of the SIAC and postpone it until a possibility of playing this spring. And that's been the direction that we're going from Miles College.
How hard has it been for you? Like right now, on a Thursday, is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday as we talk. You're on what you called your last Zoom call. You're zoomed out. I know you'd rather be on the football field right now, blowing the whistle and in the weight room, watching these guys or looking at film. How hard of a withdrawal has that been for you, man?
It's been tough, man. The biggest thing is, I want to get a chance to see our guys. I haven't saw them since March, and that's the thing. I miss them. You see them on Zoom, and as a coach, I can't wait to see them face to face, where I can talk about why they didn't get the grades and make the grades they needed to make, and why you look pudgy and look like you hadn't been doing anything. Just started being in that coach mode and fuss at them a little bit because I miss them. And it's just been tough. Like I say, you are blessed to get the last Zoom for the year from Coach Ruffin and Coach Mr. T. So I just want you to know that I'm just zoomed out, man. But it's been real tough with this pandemic. But I'm praying that we come up with a solution where we can get back to normalcy and have an opportunity to do what we always been doing and get back to football, get back to practice, and get back to doing the things in life that we always accustomed.
I haven't been able to keep up with everybody because people have different plans and agendas. Is Miles going to be virtual this fall? Have they made a decision, or are kids coming back?
Yes, what we're doing is we're doing ground, and we're doing hybrid, and we're doing online. So kids with underlying condition has an opportunity to stay home to make sure they're safe, and kids that are coming here on ground, they will do what they call half-half, where they can go in class and then they can do half online. And then we have what we call the hybrid, where they can be on ground or be on campus, but just taking classes online. So having that, college experience with dorms and all of that, and going to get meals in the cafeteria, but still being safe in your dorm rooms and studying and not having to attend a class. So kind of get that setting. So we're doing a lot to accommodate our students, but also give them the resources. And the biggest thing is with this is test. And we're testing all of our students. That's before they come. We ask them to have a test, and then also get tested when they arrive on campus for that.
So will you be able to work with your kids in small groups? How much contact, if any, will you be able to have with your players when school starts?
Well, we're going to try to do just what we normally do in the spring with the 8-hour rule. The strength coach will have those guys. And what we're doing is working out on the football field. The weight room will be moved outside. We'll not be in an enclosed space. There will be no more than 6 guys in a group at a time with the 2 strength coaches we have, and for us giving our kids that opportunity. Nobody's in the locker room, and our trainers are doing a good job of make sure we are following protocol, social distancing, protocol with disinfecting, and just sanitizing after every workouts, after every time someone is on the bench, or every time someone touching equipment, just sanitizing. We got so much sanitizing, to go around and disinfect. We're blessed that make sure we have those protocols and those things in place to be safe and to be successful.
How has recruiting changed now? I know there's been extended dead periods. You might have areas where high school players don't even get to play this year. How is that going to affect your ability to assess incoming talent and guys that you want to offer scholarships to? Yeah,
that's going to be big when a kid don't have a senior year, or a kid that didn't finish a year, and we're going to have to do a great job evaluating whether that's going to be tryouts, whether that's going to be kids come in we go to a combine, see a kid kind of work out, like NFL sort of things, and try to get something on a kid in order to give him an opportunity because it's going to be some hit and miss. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's going to be some hit and miss because of the situation. And it kind of reminds you of the HBCUs. When COVID hit, a lot of our HBCUs didn't get that chance for HBCU combine. So a lot of NFL scouts didn't get a chance to see a lot of our student athletes. And we have some great student athletes in HBCUs that are very talented and very worthy of getting it to the next level. But the thing, we need an opportunity, and that those combines gave us an opportunity. But a lot of time when they canceled those combines, we didn't get a chance to have those opportunities. So I just wish more high school coaches, if they do come down to those kids not being able to participate, that they find some way for doing a combine where we can see drills, see them move around, and we'll just take an opportunity to evaluate from that standpoint of whenever those kids are having that opportunity. So that's what we're going to do as a coaching staff, and just give a kid a chance, and it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be some hit and miss, but we're going to find the right guys that fits the clothes, that fits our needs in this program.
Not only has the country been dealing with COVID, there's been social unrest. A lot of it started with the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. There's been a lot of emphasis coming back, shining a light on HBCUs, where people have tried to push kids, back home, so to speak. And even kids, we've seen have changed their attitude some. On the basketball side, we've seen a 5-star recruit said, I'm going to Howard. Some of those things are related, some of them aren't. But have you seen an uptick of interest with the way things have been socially, with more of an emphasis on HBCU and athletics?
Yes, I have seen it, and I have seen a lot of changes with the NCAA, which we have to get it right from that standpoint, from the NCAA, from the NFL, NBA, and our chances of our African American or minorities getting the chance to equal the level of playing field. That's how I feel. Even with Black Lives Matter, for it's just changing the culture, because it was just unjust and it's not right to see what happened to George Floyd and Breonna. It just hurts you and it devastates you to see that. And in this world, it can be cruel. And I just want, from a standpoint, I didn't play at an HBCU. I played at a predominantly white institution. But I just want HBCU, since I had that opportunity, HBCU gave me an opportunity to be a coach. I just want our HBCUs to do more for our student athletes, better facilities, put more resources into the program. Because, I don't want it to be a cop-out where we didn't play or we didn't have an opportunity to play collegiate football or play this fall. Because they say, hey, of the COVID, if it's because of the COVID and not because we're trying to save money, I want us to do it right. I want us to do it. We could have played. Would they have given us the resources as an institution for testing or doing it right? Because my thing to my president is, from an NCAA standpoint, if we wasn't going to test our student athlete, we wasn't going to put the resources and money into being successful, then we shouldn't do it at all. And that was her belief and my belief, and that's what we decided. But I just want to see our HBCUs, because when you look around at Division III, Division II, FCS, Division I, predominantly white institutions, the facilities are all great for predominantly white institutions. And our facilities are not as great. And I want to see that change. And that's where a lot of our student athletes, you've seen that University of Alabama just installed lockers or locker room where they sleep in there or have a space they sleep in, and it's shielding them off, that they can social distancing and quarantine and all of that. And that's the revenue. And I know it's a revenue stream that they have or somewhat, but we have to have money and put money into our programs, because we got great coaches in this league and HBCUs from the top to bottom, and our student athletes deserve the best. They deserve the best, because if the next 4 or 5 years that they're in a program, the thing is, we're recruiting them and they've been in this program because when they leave, they're going to give back if they were treated right and had the opportunity to be successful and have the opportunity to be in a program that gave them the resources that they needed to be successful. When they come back, they're going to give back. And that's what I want to see in our HBC.
You guys had some big donations last year. Charles Barkley came in. You had some more people. Does those type of things make an immediate impact on your program?
Most definitely it does. And the relationship with Charles and my president goes way back. And Charles came on and just his first question was, what can I do for Miles College? What can I do for the program? And for someone to ask that question, it meant a lot to me. And then you turn around and you look at Jameis Winston, who held this youth camp every year at Miles. And the thing that he asked before the Christmas holiday, he said, what do you need? What's your wish list, coach? As the AD and head football coach, what's your wish list? And I just got to name it off stuff. He said, hey, I want to redo the whole locker room for football. New lockers and, do it all, with the player lounge. And that goes a long ways because that project will be finished in September. Due to the COVID, that company couldn't come in and finish start the project until COVID they started back working. And so that project will be finished in September, where we're just do the ribbon cutting ceremony for that locker room for Jameis. And man, he's just giving so much. His mom is a graduate of Miles, and his dad and I are good friends. And Jameis, he's got a heart of gold, man. And that was a blessing from him and Charles.
Well, what is it about that Alabama culture? Because those are, guys from the show enough country in Alabama. They went on to be uber successful, but they didn't forget where they came from.
Man, their upbringing, man. And if you think about this, Charles' grandmother, man, meant so much to him, being raised with his grandmother's mom. And he just talks about his grandmother. And then Jameis talks about his grandmother, that raised him. And these guys have been raised by, and myself, my grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents on how to respect people, how to love people, and how to treat people, right? And they don't forget that, man. You see, even in their interviews, even when they are, when they were in the pros, man, they never forgot their upbringings or forgot where they're from. And we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't forget where we're from. We shouldn't forget our upbringing. We shouldn't forget what our parents and grandparents or whomever raised us to do the right things, because the problem with the world now is love, man. We just got to start showing love back to everybody. Love thy neighbor. God said the greatest commandment of all is love. And that's what we got.
A spider. Look at that. Just came right down the middle of me talking. Hey, Coach, I'll let you go. A couple more questions, man. One thing I always remember, about you, I guess it was 2 seasons ago, Miles got off to a slow start, and then at some point, I don't know if it was that late touchdown at Clark Atlanta, but you guys turned it on and came back and won the division and won the championship. And I remember that celebration into the Tuskegee game. They got you with a little bit of water, man, and you jumped up in the air and you did a 360 and you pumped your fist at the same time, man. I don't know if I've ever seen a coach so excited and animated and just in the moment. Well, what are those experiences like, man, when you lead a group of men? Everybody doubted them, probably everybody but you and your staff gave up on them, and you guys ended up on top anyway.
Well, it was about resilience. Those guys were resilient. And for me, being resilient, at that time, I was still, with my wife passing and my assistant coach passing, that all happened the year before. And so to be in that situation and to start off, with that slow start, it just was so much. And I knew we had a good football team, but I also knew we were very young and we had to get to a point where we had to win ball games and we had to learn and grow up real fast. And they wasn't growing up fast enough, but they kept getting better and better. Even though we was losing a lot of close games, they kept getting better and better. But man, like you said, that Clark Atlanta game, and for Coach O to have collapsed on that field, and for me to be in the same spot of us, for me to stand in that same spot he collapsed in the year before, and we scored a game-winning touchdown, man. That's all from the man up above for me to see that moment. And everybody said, Coach, you're in the same spot Coach O collapsed on Clark Atlanta's field. And then you turn around and you're in that same spot, and we throw the game-winning touchdown to win that game. And, man, that was unbelievable. And then all of what my wife and I've been through with her, and And that's why that pump fist, man, just more of a relief. We get back to the championship game. And, my kids know our rule is, well, if we get here, we got to win. There's no need to get here and lose. You get here, you got to seal the deal. And man, to see them grow up and to see them come back the following year and we have a good season and a good year. And man, now these guys are seniors, and that's what's the hurt part is we got to move to the spring. But these guys are all seniors now. I got a seniority football team, but those are those puckies, man. Those guys that grew up in this program, and they're great kids, and they're great student athletes. They're great students, maintaining over 3.0 as a group, and just graduate. And I can go to sleep at night. My president, no one can say that they cause any problem, give them any trouble. They go to sleep. We practice so early, they have to go to sleep. I keep them. That's why I tell them. That's why we practice early, because I keep them out of trouble. But they know they have to go to class because that's the most important thing. But man, I'm just so proud of these guys. They work hard. They just work hard. And I've been blessed as a coach with a great staff and a great group of kids, man. And I've just been blessed.
Well, Coach Ruffin, I'm not saying this just because you're on the line and just because you granted me your last Zoom call ever.
Let me hear it, T. Let me hear it, Mr. T. Let me hear it.
But you are one of my favorites because you're resilient and you're fun at the same time. Some guys are fun and you kind of wonder, how's this going to go when things get rough? Some guys are really tough, man, and you don't ever get past that scowl. But you just have this balance, man, of being able to deal with so much and persevere, what you've gone through in your personal life, and still be able to have fun and talk football and do a million Zoom calls, man. And I just want to let you know that I've always admired you for that. And it's really fun to cover you and your ball club, and that's how your team is as well.
Wow, man. Mr. T, like I say, Mr. T, that's the name is Mr. And then T, because, man, what you bring to HBCU, what you bring to sports, man, and our HBCUs, I thank you for what you do. And, I pray much success for you as you continue the journey in what you do and changing our culture and changing, what we do and helping us get to where we need to be from a standpoint of HBCUs and the sports world and just in HBCU, and I appreciate you too much.
Well, I appreciate that, Coach. I'll let you go. I'll let you say the final goodbye to all your adoring fans, as they will never see you on Zoom again.
Well, let me say this. If President Bobby Knight said I got to be on the Zoom call, I'm going to get on the Zoom call. But I'm saying I'm zoomed out. So I want all my fans, I want everybody to know I've been on more NCAA, more the most presidential cabinet, Zoom and sports Zoom, and I'm just zoomed out. I want to see people in person. I want to go see Mr. T. Mr. T got the Michael Jackson, the Jerry curl and curl the hair to get hair look. He's got it going on, and I want to see him, and I want to see some of the guys that I hadn't seen, and I'm gonna miss media day. I'm gonna miss all of that, and get the chance to see you at all the HBCUs, the homecomings, and all of that. When I don't get a chance to see it live, but I see it from your perspective when you're out and say, "Hey, I'm at this homecoming," and I'm gonna miss seeing that. Man, I can't wait to get back to just get back to doing things that we're accustomed to doing. And to my fans, I'll be back, but I just won't be on Zoom. Okay.
All right, man. But before you know it, you're going to be out there. Willie Snipes and his crew is going to be providing the soundtrack, and we're going to be having a good time again. Coach Ruffin, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations again, being inducted into the Hall of Fame at the University of North Alabama, and we hope to see you soon. Okay.
Thank you.